Hey guys, Oro here, and today I'm going to show you my relics after putting 200 hours into the game. So yesterday I uploaded my relic guide, which is based on guaranteed relics, but the relics I'm showing you today are based on RNG. So this is going to give you a better idea of what to look for, what's closer to best in slot, etc, etc. And man, I've collected some really good ones along the way, so let's dive right in. So let's start with Wylder. For Wylder, I use the Wylder's Earring, which is best in slot by far. It gives an additional grapple, fire on your ult, and stamina recover on attack. For our second relic, I use an RNG relic I found that gives me partial HP restoration upon post-damage attacks and fire attack power up +2, because our last relic changes our starting armament to fire. And of course, this is Knight of the Beast. It gives us that unique stamina recovery with each successful attack +1. This is definitely my favorite Wylder build. It allows me to stay extremely aggressive, and I think do what Wylder does best is just stay on top of enemies and just destroy them with damage. There's also another build that I'm gonna show you guys in case you really like the Slate Whetstone, the follow-up attacks when using the character skill. I still haven't found anything better than this. The physical attack up is really nice. It's only 3% when it's not +1 or 2, which is a little pathetic, but I literally can't find anything with this on it. So what you gonna do? RNG sort of sucks. If I had to pick, I would definitely use something better. But if you want to use this, yeah, it's after 200 hours, it's still best in slot for me. And speaking of best in slot after 200 hours, Wylder's Earring, I don't think is ever going to get replaced in any Wylder build. It is just too good. And of course, for our last relic here, we use a Polished Drizzly Scene, partial HP restoration upon post-damage attacks. These Bloodborne relics can be really, really hard to find, but once you get them, they are literally build enablers. At least if you like that. I really like playing just super aggressive. Sometimes I play sloppy, sometimes I get hit. It's just nice to get my health back. Anyways, moving on to Guardian. So for Guardian, I like to use the Witch's Brooch. This is the best in slot relic for Guardian, and it's not even close. Slowly restores allies HP while art is active. What this does is heal you and your allies while you're holding your ultimate. It's really good. Reflect the portion of damage received when ability is activated is insanely strong in Guardian. I can't ever imagine going without this one. What this does is when your ability is activated, which is your passive, your True Guard stance, which you can go into by holding block and dodging at the same time, every attack you take is going to reflect the portion of damage. You can do a little bit of damage and a little bit of stagger, and on faster attacking enemies, it just melts them. So it's hysterical and it's really powerful. +3 vigor is just the cherry on top. Next, we're using a RNG relic I got with increased duration for character skill. What this does is allow his little tornado thing. It makes it last for more than 1 second. It goes to 5 seconds, and it's extremely powerful. It sucks enemies inside of it. It stun locks lesser enemies, and it just makes going through the game just a breeze. +3 vigor. I was lucky enough to get that on this. This is an insane relic. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. So really, really enables that play style. Makes his ability actually good. And last but not least, we're using a Bloodborne relic I found, partial HP restoration upon post-damage attacks. This is one of the best modifiers in the game. Again, I've been over this 100 times, but it's just really nice, especially for Burr, because you're constantly trading with the enemies if you're spamming your guard counters out when you probably shouldn't be. But this enables you to do that without getting punished for it. You're actually able to get that health back immediately. So it's really, really nice. Unfortunately, this does not work on the reflex, but it'll work on another guard counter. And speaking of guard counters, you ignore the Thunderbolt. That's nice too. But what we're really using this for is the best modifier on Guardian by far, and it's not even close. Guard counter is given a boost based on current HP. And why this is so powerful on Guardian, I actually have no idea. There's some hidden modifier to it, but it's based on your current HP. So the more full your HP is, not how low. So you want to stay full health as much as possible. And obviously this allows you to do that. This helps with staying higher HP. But more than that, it is insane on his charged unique halberd guard counter. That is what enables Bird to do big damage. That is the best way for Guardian to do damage. Using this on every single build for me is just, it's so powerful. This is a must-have. I'll show you another build in a minute. Again, I have 3 Guardian builds that makes use of this, but I actually have one without it. Anyways, let's move on to show you guys the other builds. This is definitely my favorite though. This makes Burb pretty damn strong. I really enjoy it. This is the build without it, and there's a reasoning for it. So we're using again the Witch's Brooch, but we're using a Grandiously Seen RNG relic with increased duration for character skill in the blue slot, improved crits, and ultimate art gauge. But mainly just I want the duration skill. I want the skill to actually be good, like we talked about previously. And Knight of the Beast. So this is a weird sort of interaction. Stamina recovers with each successful attack actually works on his ability and on his reflect. So while you're reflecting damage, if you have any stamina recovers with each successful attack, it is actually going to give you stamina back while they're hitting the shield, which makes an indefinite blocking loop that really, really, really is powerful. It's a really powerful combo. Plus, if you put the tornado right on top of enemies, you have infinite stamina. You have infinite stamina for 5 seconds. You can do whatever you want and you'll have full stamina. That means charged R2s, jump attacks, whatever. It's super powerful. This is why I like this combo. And unfortunately, I couldn't fit my favorite guard counter based on HP on here. So the guard counters are definitely weaker in comparison. But the power that infinite stamina can give you is really, really cool and super fun and interesting. So I really recommend trying this build. However, let's go to our last Guardian build. Gosh, she's getting some love here. Contrary to popular belief, I do love the Burb. First one is reflect the portion of damage received when an ability is activated. This is again the reflect one on an RNG relic with vigor, with character skill cooldown reduction. So this is really insane RNG one I found. And the other ones you might recognize. Knight of the Champion. Increased max stamina is actually +5 endurance. Guard counter, given a boost based on HP. We talked about this. It's invaluable. It gives us like 200 more damage on our guard counters. Fully charged with the halberds. Totally, totally insane. And with this, we get HP restoration upon thrusting counterattack, which is basically every time we attack into a boss while they're attacking, which is constantly. So we're going to get a decent chunk of HP back. I don't think that's too powerful, but it's not bad. And of course, Knight of the Beast. This is... We talked about this earlier, and of course, I forgot to mention starting armament deals fire damage. That's pretty nice too. But the main thing here is that this build has the stamina on attack and the guard counter damage and the reflect. So this is if you want to reflect, but you don't care about his ability giving you the 5-second duration on his normal ability, giving you infinite stamina. You just care about blocking. So this is more of a defensive build. And you get the guard counter damage. So in my opinion, this build I think is just better. The ability really sucks without the duration, but I'm telling you that guard counter given a boost based on current HP it's invaluable. It's too good not to use. The other build is good, but I just don't find it as powerful. So I really, really recommend this build. This one's pretty easy to get. All you need is a green with reflect on it, which, you know, well, it is up to RNG, so I guess good luck. But yeah, this is a really strong one as well. Moving on to Ironeye. So for Ironeye, I have two different ones. One's more of a fun one, and this is one a little more serious. This one is plus additional character skill use. Having 2 marks is insane. Not only does it give you iframes, but you're able to reapply the mark on a target, and you're just able to dash around, reposition whenever you want. It's crazy, crazy powerful. Max FP up is whatever. I'm sort of not using it for that. Holy attack power up 2 is really good for what I'm going to go over later. You may have seen it already. For our second relic, though, we're using attack power permanently increased for each Everjail prisoner defeated. What this does is for each Everjail you open and defeat the boss, you'll get a 5% damage boost to everything per Everjail. This can stack really, really high. I think there can be up to like 7 Everjails on the map. So this gets really, really disgusting. 35% extra damage is nothing to scoff at. Plus vigor, I got lucky. We got a max vigor roll and 1 endurance. So this is just disgusting. This is I'm probably never going to replace this relic ever. And of course, Edge of Order. You've seen me talk about this before. boost thrust and counterattacks after executing art. What this does is increase your counterattack damage slightly after using your ultimate. It's hard to land these, but you can do it when the enemy is attacking. It does work with bows. It is pretty good. Improved bow attack power is what we're really using this for. Improved bow attack power is a really nice boost to our bow damage, and our starting armament deals holy damage, which again gets boosted by, like I said, our holy attack power up that I have on my RNG relic from the first one. So all of this comes together for a really nasty Ironeye build, especially on bosses that are weak to holy. This is holy damage still, and it works really well, but what I like to do is this is based on stamina recovery with each successful attack. This allows you to stay and just keep on attacking constantly, almost infinitely with the bow. Because the bow takes so little stamina, stacking stamina recovers with each successful attack is incredibly fun and powerful. Again, we're using Edge of Order for the bow attack power. Really, that's all we're using it for. It is very strong. And then the holy damage if we decide to keep it. But this is more of my general use build. Stamina recovers with each successful attack, +1. Again, it's unique to this relic. We're not using it for the fire damage because the fire damage gets overwrit, but it is insanely strong on bows. Again, this is just stamina recovers with each successful attack, and then holy attack power up to boost our bow damage if we stick with it. It's a pretty nice build. Again, I think the first one is better, but this one is more comfy. I do enjoy this one. Moving on to the Duchess. So for Duchess, we use the Crown Medal, and what a Crown Medal does is dagger chain attack reprisals event upon nearby enemies. This means your final R1 in your dagger attack chain, one-handed or two-handed, will actually trigger rewind again. It'll trigger restage. As you know, restage is really powerful. It's 50% of the damage done again. So this is disgusting. If you have restage down, you can R1 restage, boom, get this, then restage when you're not able to do this, and then hit this again, and you can get like a constant chain of free restages just by using daggers, which is absolutely insane. So I usually tend to go for this because this is so powerful on her, which means I sort of lean toward only using daggers. So Reduvia, Black Knife, stuff you really want to look out for. Usually your best in slot weapons. Improved dagger attack power. Again, we're using daggers to proc this. It's really good. This is, again, a guaranteed relic. It's hard to replace. Improved character skill attack power with the dex and int. Really, this sort of sucks. The dex and the int is meh. All damage stat rolls in this game are not very impactful. However, the improved character skill attack power is very impactful as it affects our restage. It gives it a huge damage boost. You definitely want to run this. This is best in slot modifier for Duchess by far. And of course, the classic guaranteed Bloodborne relic, Grand Tranquil Scene. You get this by beating the game and checking the jar shop. You can buy it from the jar. Partial HP restoration upon post damage attacks. Everybody's favorite. It's really good on Duchess because you're always going to be going for the R1 chain. So you get a little greedy going for it because it does take some time to stab. You're going to get hit, right? So this will allow you to get a little greedier, and it'll be a little more forgiving if you do get hit, which I really like. +2 vigor, +2 poise, really good on every character. So, but I would really hope for a better improved character skill attack power relic eventually, maybe with vigor on it, maybe with dagger attack power, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. 200 hours and I still haven't seen it. So anyways, moving on to the Raider. Legendary. Grand Tranquil Scene. Damage taken while using character skill improves attack power and stamina. This is a best in slot for Raider, and it's not even close. A lot of the Raider modifiers are honestly pretty bad. They're not super good. This one is insane. It boosts his damage and his stamina for 20 seconds after he uses character skill power, which is his headbutt, his little punch, which you have up like every 10 seconds. So you're able to keep this up indefinitely as long as you're fighting something. It's a crazy bonus. It's a crazy boost. You definitely want to use this no matter what. I was lucky to get this one with endurance and ultimate art gauge on it, which allows us to use our totem stella more. And this is one of the best ones I've gotten. Again, the Everjail, 5% per, plus 3 vigor and endurance. It's everything Raider wants and needs. Big damage on that. However, if you have a taking damage relic, that can also be really, really powerful for Raider. Unfortunately, I didn't get a really good one. This is my best one in comparison. If I got a taking damage one, I might consider using it over the Everjail one because it is a huge damage boost. It's 15% damage for 10 seconds after getting hit, which, you know, if you're playing Raider, you're probably going to get hit all the time. However, this one can stack higher if you get more Everjails, and it's safer. So I might actually prefer this. I'm not sure. Both are really, really good for this slot. Moving on to the Bloodborne Relic. Again, this is a must-have on Raider because he's constantly taking damage. You're constantly trading with enemies. His whole point is to take damage, to do damage. So this is honestly best in slot. The guaranteed one you get. It gets vigor, poise, again, everything he wants. It's perfect. That is my Raider build. There's really not much else to say. Unga bunga, Raider's insane. Moving on to the Revenant. So for the Revenant, we use the small makeup brush. No big surprise to a lot of you guys. This is just so good. Not only does the power up while fighting alongside family, passive bonuses, incredibly powerful, but the rune acquisition for self and allies, 3.3% bonus is really, really powerful. And it might not seem like a lot, but it definitely adds up. Really like this for her. This is a RNG relic, Polished Tranquil Scene I got for her. Strengthens family and allies when ultimate art is activated. This is an absolute must-have for Revenant. All Revenant players need to run something with this on it if you have it. What this does is it boosts everyone's damage besides your own for 30 seconds. So it boosts your summons, it boosts your 2 friends by a really, really big amount. And again, it lasts for 30 seconds after your ult. This makes it so your ult isn't just invulnerability. This makes it so your ult is actually like a damage boost. This is like you do it at the start of a fight and then you go ape shit and just destroy. So I really, really enjoy this. Plus, holy attack power up, really, really strong on Revenant because a lot of the time you're going for Discus, Wrath of Gold, stuff like that. I got really lucky with this one. And for our last one, we used yet another thing I consider best in slot. Trigger Ghost Flame Explosion during ultimate art activation. It also has Faith and Arcane on it, which is, you know, again, not very good, but they're decent. But you usually just want to run Trigger Ghost Flame Explosion. So if I had anything else that had like Vigor or any other better ability on here, I would run that. But unfortunately, this is all I got after 200 hours. I only have the guaranteed one that triggers Ghost Flame Explosion. A lot of people are going to ask why I don't run the portrait. I really, really don't think losing 50% of your health is worth healing all your allies. I just don't love that personally. You can run it if you want instead in this slot, but I really, really can't recommend it. And personally, I don't love it. So, all right, moving on to the Recluse, another caster. And this build is one of my favorite builds. This is super, super, super damage. I went full glass cannon on her. As you can see, magic attack up +2 is really the thing we're using this for. Items confer effect all allies or whatever. It's nice to boost everybody if you have consumables, but that's really the main thing. We're also using her Vestige of Night. Collecting affinity residue activates Terra Magica. This is insane on her because she can constantly use her ability and put down Terra Magica will boost her magic damage by 15%. And again, these magic attack power up are boosting her magic damage even further. So she's going all in on the magic damage. This is probably best in slot. And again, it's a guaranteed relic from her remembrance. And last but not least, this is probably one of the most insane relics I've got. Suffer blood loss and increased attack power upon art activation. Really, really powerful on her. Allows her to proc the blood loss buffs on her on a dime just using her ultimate. And it gives her a huge, huge damage bonus as well. And the nice thing is, this is good because, yeah, you take some damage with the blood loss, but her ult heals you when you do damage immediately. So it's basically like it doesn't do anything at all. There's basically little to no downside as long as you get a spell off before you get hit. And of course, the reason that this is so good is because I got it with attack power permanently increased for each average health prisoner defeated. This is again insane, and it works on all damage types, including spells, including her magic spam. So this just gets absolutely disgusting, ludicrous amount of damage just stacking this magic attack up +2 and the average heal bonus, plus getting her main attack once. I really would have liked the increased maximum HP when you use it. That would be a best in slot, is increased maximum HP and a magic attack power up on that yellow. I don't think it's ever going to happen. That's a really nice boost in survivability for 30 seconds after she ults. I recommend maybe looking for that if you can, but again, this is what I got. So, and last but not least, the Executor. So for the Executor, I have 3 different builds to go over. Let's go over this first one here. This is based on playing Sekiro mode. So this is all going into his Curse Blade and using it almost exclusively. Using all your passive bonuses for guarding and successive attack bonuses and stuff like that is going to be really good on this. You're not even using your main weapon. You are just deflecting the hell out of everything. Continuing on, I really like this playstyle. Stamina recovers with each successful attack. Even one of these makes it so your Curse Blade is basically infinite stamina. You can attack near infinitely on enemies. It's really good for stuff that just sits still, stuff that gets staggered. The big stuff like dragons that really don't move a lot, you can just wail on them. Bum, 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 bum. No stamina drain at all. And then you're ready to dodge. You're ready to deflect on a dime. But what we're really using this for is the physical attack up +2, because this affects the Curse Blade. One of the only things that does in terms of the damage. So we're trying to boost that Curse Blade damage as high as we can. But stamina recovers with each successful attack is insane with this build. So this is an insane relic. Moving on, this is also an insane relic. Physical attack up +2. Again, we're using it for the Curse Blade damage. We're buffing it up. But Art Gauge charge from successful guarding is so strong because guarding counts as a deflect. And this whole build is based on guarding and deflecting. So when you're deflecting stuff, I'm actually getting my ultimate up even faster. So I'm able to use it just constantly, and it's just insanely powerful. This is, again, one of my best relics. And here you might recognize this one from Burb. Partial HP restoration upon post-damage attacks. Really useful for our boy. You know, if I do get hit by going for attacks, I'm able to swing, get it back pretty quickly. But mainly for both, the guard counter is given a boost based on current HP. This is really good on Executor or Executor, whatever, because you're constantly going for deflects, which means you're able to guard counter constantly. And guard countering is probably the best way for him to do damage inside of his Curse Blade stance, aside from his obvious glow, ultimate super attack. This basically allows you to deflect, do tons of damage, and keep your health up, which is exactly what you should be doing when you're using the Curse Blade. Really nice build. This is one of my favorite ways to play him. However, there are other ways to play him, and you probably heard of the status effects starting weapon builds, and this is what we're going to go over. We're going to go over the first one here, which is Poison and Frost. So first off, we have another one of my insane relics. Attack power permanently increased for each Evergaol. This just, boosts all your damage. Your katana damage is what we're going to be using, and +1 vigor, whatever. It's not much, but it's better than what I got. It's on the yellow, and that's what matters. Knight of the Wise inflicts armament with poison, so our bleed katana is also going to use poison, and each time we do poison, it buffs our attack power. Increased maximum FPs, whatever on this, we're using it for the poison and the damage boost. And of course, Knight of the Miasma, Frostbite conceals you, and we're going to use Chilling Mist, which replaces our starting Unsheath ability. And when we do, you guessed it, Frostbite, it buffs our damage again. So it's double buffing our damage with poison and Frostbite, and we got bleed on the base katana, which doesn't go away once we throw on poison. So it's a poison, bleed, and Frostbite Katana. This is absolutely disgusting. Triple ailments are nasty, and they work on most all bosses. So it's going to be really, really a breeze using this build. However, I have one final build for you guys. If you like bleed more than anything, have I got the build for you. This build uses Seppuku and Frost. So what this does is, let me start by going over the relics before I get too much into it. Grand Burning Scene is really nice because character skill boost attack, but attacking drains HP. This is really good if you actually do want to use the Cursed Blade. However, it'll drain a bit of your health. And the reason I actually don't use this on the Cursed Blade build that I initially talked about is that the damage boost from the physical attack is only like 1% less than this, and this drains your health. So it's just not worth it unless you get like this plus physical attack. That would be best in slot, but unfortunately I don't have that. It might not even exist. Anyways, starting armament inflicts frost. This gives our bleed katana frost and +2 vigor. Yeah, this is absolutely insane relic I got. Art gauge fills moderately upon critical hit. So this is really nice, but we're using this for the seppuku. Yeah, bewitching branches, also whatever. This allows you to you know, stab yourself and get extra bleed damage on top of the passive bleed you have already on your katana. And of course, partial HP restoration upon post damage attacks. We get the Bloodborne relic with this as well. +2 vigor, +2 poise. Really, really nice. If you don't want to use the Bloodborne relic, you can use some more damaging relic here, like the Everjail one, because I don't use it on this. But for this, I really, really do enjoy doing that and being able to just basically get my health back. It's a really nice bonus running this set. Anyways, that is it. That is all my relics after 200 hours, all my builds. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Definitely spent a lot of time theory crafting, finding the best ones. I hope you enjoyed this sort of video more than my other ones, for those of you who really sort of disappointed with just the guaranteed relics that I went over in my relic guide. This is more of what you should be looking for the best in slots for each character. And of course, I like to prioritize damage. There are other builds that are safer, like using Maris's relic that adds maximum HP. That's actually +5 vigor. If you want to use that instead of this, you know, psycho stuff, go for it. But I personally like going for the fastest times now. I like demolishing each and every one of the Night Lords. It feels really good to stack damage and get those bonuses up as high as possible. So you may notice that these builds are very offensive and not quite defensive. All of them rely on just doing the most damage possible. To me, that's the most fun. But again, there's nothing wrong with doing a more defensive build. In fact, you could even balance it out if you get some of the runes, which I tried to do in some of these, but I always prioritize damage. So that is just a little bit of my sort of build design philosophy for this game. That's why the more recommended builds in the other videos are a little bit safer. That's why I go for more vigor in those ones. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about. Again, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. Really hope you guys enjoyed my relic builds. And if you did, be sure to subscribe for more Elden Ring Nightreign coming soon. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace, guys.